Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump calling Putin and foreign policy being hard. So Trump had his much anticipated and hyped call with Putin, where the U.S. was hoping to obtain a major step toward peace. That didn't happen. And it turns out foreign policy isn't easy, and bringing an end to fighting would have been tough. That's not me. That's Trump. Getting to his desired 30-day ceasefire, quote, would have been tough. Putin's stated conditions for peace are realistically non-starters. They include things like no military aid for Ukraine from any country, and no intelligence can be provided either. So what did Trump reportedly obtain? A pause on striking against energy infrastructure. If Russia actually holds up its end on that, it will be a small win. But foreign policy people are skeptical and have reason to be. What's the reason? Russia has already agreed to not engage in the targeting of civilian energy infrastructure. It's contained in Article 147 of the Geneva Conventions, to which Russia is a signatory. So they made a promise not to engage in a behavior, engaged in the behavior, and now are promising not to engage in the behavior. Look, if it works and they stop hitting energy infrastructure, Trump gets to claim it as a win. But there's a lot of skepticism about it. In the Russia readout of the call, it says Trump and Putin talked about how Ukraine, quote, has repeatedly sabotaged and violated the agreements reached. The absolute absurdity of leaders of two countries who signed the Budapest memos talking about Ukraine not respecting agreements is something to behold. Especially when one of the leaders is attempting to take land from the country by force, and the other is saying they won't get to keep their current borders. For those who don't remember the content of 30-year-old foreign policy documents, it says, quote, the United States of America, the Russian Federation, and the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland reaffirm their commitment to Ukraine, in accordance with the principles of the CSCE, Commission on Security and Cooperation in Europe. Final Act, to respect the independence and sovereignty and the existing borders of Ukraine. I mean, if this was followed, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's worth noting that after the phone call and reported agreement, reports indicated that Russia has already hit Ukrainian civilian infrastructure again. Now, we don't have the timeline yet, so this might have been underway before word got to the lines. For those who don't want to believe that's possible, just remember how bad Russian military communication is. It's possible. We'll have to watch for the next few days to see what happens. The call also laid the groundwork for actual talks. So at the end, the call wasn't a total failure that most foreign policy experts were predicting. But there wasn't really much movement either. One of the most promising developments, according to most foreign policy people, was Trump's admission that foreign policy is like super hard. That acknowledgement might lead him to be less impulsive with regard to Ukraine. I'm not sure I share that hope, but it's interesting. Either way, pursuing an actual peace is worthwhile. But it's important to remember that Ukraine is the final arbiter on this one. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.